Welcome to Austin, Texas, and welcome to TyRex. If I could actually growl, I'd give you a big T-Rex growl, but that might be embarrassing. However, we're about to step inside and see something that you may have never seen before. TyRex has 80,000 square feet, community-oriented, and taking care of their local schools by offering internships to 40-plus kids on a regular basis. So let's step inside and let's see what makes 8 companies under one company become great. Andrew, my friend, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you. Welcome to TyRex. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I was outside and I just see dinosaur ideas, right?
Right.
And I'm walking inside and I'm thinking, what am I gonna see today? I instantly see bones on the wall, but I also see a whole lot of companies that are affiliated with TyRex. How does that work?
Well, we started about 30 years ago, and we were thinking about who we wanted to be when we grow up, and TyRex was really the catalyst for that. But there are a number of companies here today, and we cover a lot of ground. So it's really an end-to-end engineered solutions company. We really put our customers first and try and identify what makes them successful and special. And with that, in all of these companies, we have, like I said, kind of an end-to-end manufacturing solution to provide our customers.
And that's kind of the point, right? I believe the first one started around 1995, then you launched a second and a third, early 2000s. I believe the latest one was around 2012, 13, around that time.
Correct.
And it's all built to vertically integrate and truly support the customers and partnerships you have out there, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And there's really also 3 kind of fundamental things that we look at. We, number one, want to make sure that we take care of our customers. We want to make sure we take care of our community, and we certainly want to make sure we take care of all of our employees. And so really more of a built-to-last model, and again, highly focused on what we call evolutionary technology thinking. So we don't want to be a dinosaur. We want to continue to live on. And so one of the things, we are always moving on to the next technology lily pad, if you will.
I like that. And we're going to walk outside and show the audience your factory and what's going on here. And I'm very excited about that. As we take this walk, would you mind kind of describing why dinosaurs? Let's go ahead and take the walk out to the factory.
Absolutely.
But why do I see so many dinosaurs?
Well, I think initially when we started Jurassic Park, it kind of evolved. We were thinking about a company and a name that we could have a kind of big, bad, warrior-like brand. And,
great movie.
And so we couldn't get T-Rex, so we went with TyRex, and then we could build a whole marketing program around all the different companies that you see today. Some Megalodon, the killer shark, and Irex, the big eagle, and SaberX, the saber-toothed tiger. So we built the whole model around that, and really just to have a little more fun. So yeah.
Well, before we launch into some of my favorite subjects, which are additive manufacturing and some of the cables that you've been doing since the birth of TyRex, we have to take a quick pause at this general area. One of my favorite quotes when I was walking through here, you don't have to be a genius to think like one. Would you mind telling me about this area?
Absolutely. So this is where we kind of built our own thinking box. And one of the things that we try to start with, as all geniuses do, is a clean sheet of paper and really start from scratch. And so our slogan is, you don't have to be a genius to think like one. And we really tried to think and build our own box and come up with completely new ideas that support our customer success. So this is our thinking box. This is kind of how we look at things differently. Even having AR, VR goggles, if you wanted to take a virtual tour of the factory without ever really leaving this space, you can see everything from an AR, VR perspective.
Everyone's thinking at TyRex.
Everyone is thinking at TyRex, that's right.
I have actually read books and studied every single person on that wall. What a great choice of 10 folks.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, they're all brilliant in their own minds, and they all think, like I said, just very differently. And it's one of the things, just looking forward, where are we going to be and how are we going to get there and what are the next trends. And it's just been a journey.
The journey seems like it's been a lot of fun because already I see T-Rex maybe trying to eat us to my right-hand side here. A moving T-Rex. Are you kidding me, Andrew?
Moving T-Rex, that's exactly right. So again, part of it is, trying to combine technology with a little bit of fun. So we're trying to have a little bit of different look to the factory, and people come in and it's light and it's bright, and just a lot of fun to be around.
I'm happy you bring that up because there's an audience out there that we're trying to attract every single day, the youth and the parents of the youth even, that want to see how important, you said clean, you said bright. These things are important to have fun. How many times do we hear dull, dirty, dangerous in manufacturing, those 3Ds? Walk around here, I'm not seeing any of that for sure. So let's get into the additive manufacturing world. I see some really cool components over here, and I know the additive side of things truly supports your business, which launched the cables, right?
Absolutely. So we'll come back to cables in a minute, but our additive manufacturing is absolutely critical as we look at how to go faster, how do we create, develop, design, and go from really prototype to production. The 3D additive manufacturing is key to supporting our clients. So in a number of cases, we've had customers that have had molds that have broken or need to get to market quickly. Here at TyRex, we have a pretty diverse set of 3D printing capabilities. We have extensive DLP-based carbon printers that allow us to print in both elastomerics as well as rigids. So when you think about elastomerics, you think about the Adidas tennis shoe structure that you'll see. When you think about rigids, there's all kinds of different materials and different heat deflections that we can print in. So again, it allows us to go, number one, from a concept, work with our clients quickly, iterate on the fly, come up with new designs, and then combine the other applications that we have in the business. So in some cases, we're able to take a design, build a 3D printed part, and incorporate fiber or copper or other technologies with boards and get them the products that they need in a very reduced amount of time.
Well, I know today is your birthday, and you're Benjamin Buttoning on us and getting younger by the day, I can tell, but my lower back hurts me all the time from walking these factories. And I see a shoe mold here, but can we go over some of the products? Our audience loves to see the actual finished components of some of the additive manufacturing. Would you mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So in this case, this is actually a blood centrifuge, something that spins at about 6,000 RPMs. So it's absolutely critical that the balance and the weight of these parts is 100% on cast. So you'll see in this case, these parts are all manufactured, they're serialized. We can actually build, the little soda straw, if you will, that the blood sample will drop into. We had a contract for 453,000 of these.
Wow.
And we were doing it very uniquely where we would actually build the parts on a raft like this, so we could build up to 1,200 parts at a time, and then we would just break the part off the raft, and there you have the part. And so this was a really cool thing that came about. We also have, you'll see tennis shoe insoles, again, an elastomeric, so a very unique application, also very complicated to produce. We have other scenarios that, this is kind of a fun one where you can actually see an elastomeric and the lattice structure. I don't know if you can see that in the side, but the lattice structure is pretty complex. And so what it allows you to do is change different durometers and different, one last one here is kind of fun to look at. So if you think about your foot and your heel, you want something hard on this side and something soft on this side. So you can change the engineering design and create a different feel. So pretty unique stuff. You squeeze both ends of that.
What?
Just squeeze. See how it's soft on one end and hard on the other?
And this is made at the same time in the same place.
That's right. The other thing, using this DLP-based technology, like I said, it's not serial, so it's flashing light and it's forming all parts at the same time. So if I actually wanted to build these, well, you can build multiple parts at the same time. So you don't have to build just that part. You could also build that part out of the same material. So whatever you can get on that build plate, you're able to produce at a pretty rapid pace.
It's all about being able to fit it inside of the machine and nesting it correctly, but you can build multiple jobs inside the same one.
That's exactly, almost like a jigsaw puzzle.
Just right. Yeah, a lot like that. I've done a lot of nesting in my career in different avenues, not necessarily additive, but woodworking, water jets, and lasers, and so I understand the concept of being able to put multiple jobs into that.
Perfect.
So cables.
Yeah.
Now, cables are something I don't get the true pleasure to talk about a whole lot, but understanding their significance as we continue to take the Wi-Fi to greater expansion around the state, around the country, around the world, cables kind of matter, don't they?
They do. It's always the last thing that most engineers think about is the interconnect, right? And I laugh today, if you would have asked me 30 years ago, would we still be building copper cables? And it was actually the catalyst and genesis for us to build our fiber, because copper was going away. But we started building copper cables, and the one thing that we've seen is that new technologies continue to evolve. So like today, we're building a lot of EV applications, right? Applications for electric motorcycles, we're building applications for electric vehicles, just a wide range of different applications in the EV space. We started 30 years ago, we were building Category 5 patch cords, which was not that sexy, but you know, a lot of fun to build. So again, I think there's still quite a longevity of copper and copper cables.
As we expand on the cable conversation, this was where you built the company before you expanded into 7 others, I believe, correct?
Right.
So for anyone watching right now who's learning about TyRex for the first time, regardless of how famous you guys are and how beloved you are by the industry as a whole, how do you currently support the potential audience out there through the cable side of your business?
Yeah, so IREX is our custom cable division, and we've been obviously building products for over 30 years now. We have probably one of the most extensive tooling collections. We can support just a wide range of components. We have over 800 hand tools. We have a number of wire processing machines. And so whether you're in the oil and gas, industrial, aerospace field, we're familiar with all the different types of cables and applications to build your product, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely well explained for everyone out there looking for that partner you can rely on, trust, one that really believes in you as well. And we're going to talk a little bit with Joel about some of my favorite aspects of what I love about you and this company, Andrew, and that's that you believe in the community, you support the community, you have nonprofits, you have internships for high schools, and all of this goes into the belief of making things better, whether it's in partnerships. And something else we're going to talk about with Joel that I really like is for all the folks out there who are making something whether it's new or have found a plateau that they just can't afford to get bigger, and they need that partner to help them increase profitability, increase efficiency. You guys help them build themselves up before becoming too big on their own and then going off on their own, right?
Right, and a lot of times what we really want to do is, in some cases we can support burst capacity for some of our specific clients. In other cases, it's not really their core, right? So their core may be software or some other application, and manufacturing is not really what they want to stand up and build up and learn all the lessons learned that, you know, we've learned in others over 30 years. So I think there's a great deal of value in partnering with somebody that has been there, done that, and has the engineering background as well. And I would say just on our cable side, again, we have an extensive amount of engineering understanding and knowledge that really provides incremental value to our customers.
That's what 30 years of experience will bring to the table. Andrew, I know you're a busy man. I usually say what I'm about to say at the end, but I'm going to say it now, which is time is one thing we cannot manufacture more of. So the fact that you spent time with us today before you run off to all of your meetings, truly appreciate it. Let's pass this microphone on over to Joel as we continue our walk and talk through the factory. Andrew, absolutely incredible. Thank you for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, Joel, good to see you, my friend. Yes, absolutely. So you heard a little bit about what Andrew was talking about. We did an intro, we did this think box, even though we all think outside the box these days. We did additive, we did cable, but there's so much more. I mean, there's 8 companies under TyRex.
That's it. We are built to be residents in this community. We say we're not just renters, we're residents. We're built, Andrew I think mentioned, we're built to last. We're planning on being here for a long time. That's a lot of what our vertical integration has to do with. That's also a lot of what our community engagement has to do with. That's how we treat our partners, that's how we treat our people, and again, that's how we treat our community, from our signature nonprofit to the internship program that we do, to a lot of the kind of STEM education and workforce development work that we do in the Austin Houston area. We're here to stay, and that's what all of that is about.
Well, let's continue to walk and talk about those subjects because they are near and dear to my heart. And we're going to walk by walking dinosaurs in a kid's playroom where a dinosaur will attack you, and some AI where you can make music. And all of this is quite fun. And you mentioned already built to last. And Andrew said, we love dinosaurs, but we don't want to be a dinosaur, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk firstly about let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this internship program because I think that resonates with, we talk about skills gap and labor shortage all the time. This matters to you locally as well, doesn't it?
That's it, and we've noticed despite the level of education being great, there's no substitute for being out in the field and seeing what that computer result looks like, in our case, what CAD looks like once it's printed. We had 44 high school level interns this summer alone. A lot of them had a great amount of CAD experience, and yet they'd never printed anything on their own. So they didn't know how their model would look in real life. And that exposure to the real world, right? And there's more that goes into that collaboration. Mentioned to you before we filmed the ability of one student to come up with an idea and then just smash it together with the idea that the student next to him had and say, well, hey, I come up with something cool and so did you. What if we put them together? What if? And I think that's the greatest thing that some of us old, professionals gained from our high school level interns was, what could we do, right? Just because it wasn't possible 2 years ago, 3 years ago, doesn't mean it's not possible today. And that provides us with certainly a spirit of youth, but more importantly, we're asking the question similar to, can we print that? Can we make that? Can we serialize that? Can we make that better?
I absolutely love that topic. And I wanted to ask you part of that question as well, but you've done such a good job explaining it. I don't know if I can, no, that's perfect. It's what we want, but that to me resonates so much because I have been in a machine shop and I've been that quote unquote expert in that machine shop. I know how it's all done, right? And then somebody will come in and say, but what if? And I go, no, wait, what? What'd you just say to me? And it can't, so these out of the box thinkers, because they don't know that there is a box, bring in possibilities. Oh, you say 3 years ago, I say 3 minutes ago almost even, right? Like things are changing so quickly that your ability to allow others to have the confidence to make something just creates goodness for everyone around this facility, I can imagine.
That's exactly right. And look, technology is catching up with us faster and faster every day. We use it in our real business. We use it in our community engagement. But if you're not thinking about your next, what's going to come next for you, you're already behind. And so we use that with our biggest customers. But certainly the spirit of what is possible is something that high school interns, I think we're giving to them, but we're probably getting a lot more out of them with the creativity that they give back to us.
Well, I want to walk a little bit in just a minute. I'm going to ask about this, just so you know. We're standing here. I have to ask. But what I want to segue into, we've talked about Additive, we've talked about cables, but I'd probably leave it out 6 other companies that we should probably highlight somewhat quickly. So I'm going to give you a small heads up to think about that.
Sure.
What is going, dinosaurs, this is a real life museum within a manufacturing facility.
It snowballed. I think it started with one dinosaur that we thought would just be funny to greet visitors when they came in. And then, well, what if what's possible? What if we got another one? Hey, how much does it cost to get real life woolly mammoth tusks and jaws and leg bones? All of our companies are named after or associated with a dinosaur in some way. Again, Andrew talked about evolutionary technology thinking. We don't want to be a dinosaur. We don't want to be a fossil. We want to be ahead of the game, and we want our customers and our business partners to come with us. That's why a lot of our diversified, vertically integrated, whatever you want to call it, approach to manufacturing is the way that it is because we want to make sure that we're not reliant on someone who may become a dinosaur. That's why we insource a lot of from our logistics to our software to our design engineering and so on.
Joel, I don't know how much you know about me, but I've probably been in over 1,000 shops around the world at this time, and I might say this is the most fun I've ever had inside of a machine shop.
High praise.
It's incredible. You really are having fun. So 6 other companies. Can we highlight what else you guys do? I know you're vertically integrated. You're supporting everyone because you built it off of cables and said, you know what, let's help.
That's exactly right. So on the front end, you think about the life of a product, the life cycle that a product has. On the front end, we've got a design engineering company. We have a software company that can build into products right from the very get-go. Our cable company was already mentioned. We also have a huge fiber optics division. Rural broadband's a really big deal in Texas right now to make sure that everyone can get internet that's capable enough for them to learn from home or work from home on. We also, what do those cables go into? We have a box build and system integration business. We've got a PCBA and component level assembly business. We're putting things together left and right. On the back end, we've also got a reliability test lab. So once the cables are built, the circuit board assemblies are built, the boxes are built, you've got to test it. Whether there's 3D printed components in it or not, everything's got to get tested before it goes out to market. So we've got a world-renowned reliability test lab right here in-house. And then on the more cutting edge, we've got a spatial light modulation company called Digital Light Innovations that works with digital micro mirror devices to create DLP applications, digital light processing applications, everything from biometrics to holograms to hyperspectral imaging, a lot of stuff that's not going to hit the market for 30 more years.
30 years,
yeah,
right.
Exactly. But we're right in the middle of that as well.
Well, Joe, I am absolutely terrible at moonwalking, but I'm going to moonwalk my way right into this general area of eco-friendly and green. You've mentioned a lot of areas of your business that may or may not participate in plastics,
right.
But you're doing your very best to be eco-friendly as well, aren't you? And I think this thing even prints dirt.
It prints dirt. That's exactly right. More specifically, clay. We will use some of our chemistry chops to mix some of that clay with some strengthening agents. But for the most part, this is a purely organic material going through a 3D printer. Main thing is, the main thing we've learned is get those air bubbles out. You've got to put it through a process to make sure there's no air in there, so you don't blow a hole in the middle of your print. But other than that, it works basically just like a filament printer, just like a plastic, Prusa or Ender printer. It works essentially with the same functionality. The climate change, goal with technology like this, when you're printing in organic materials, you have the ability to reduce ozone deterioration. You've got the ability to just really be creative and I think when you bring science into any good cause, but specifically the environment, I think you're really combining the best of the kind of for-profit world with the best of the do-good and the nonprofit world. We're also trying our best to recycle as much of the plastics that we use as possible. So we'll chip up old parts that didn't meet spec or that we couldn't use. We'll chip them up, we'll try to color sort them, then melt them down, and then essentially that machine right there will spool them out, and we'll create a brand new filament from something that was old and would have been trash otherwise.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's continue our tour. We're going to finish this thing off with something that's near and dear to my heart, and I know it's yours. We're both very passionate. That's nonprofit and be it of service to others. But on our walk to that final finale, I would love to take a moment to talk about your ability to help people grow their businesses, because there are millions of people out there that find a ceiling for something and can't go any further without the help of someone like you who says, bring it in-house. We have testing, we have this, we can help you grow. And at some point they might transition out, but that's okay. That's a respectable and responsible thing for both partners to understand is come in, we'll help you grow, we'll do what you can until you can, and once you can, we'll happily give you a high five, slap on the butt, and get out of here and good luck, How does that all work?
That's exactly right. I mean, a lot of our customers are kind of late stage startups. There's enough of a demand for their product or their service that they need to grow quickly, but they don't have the capital or they don't have the expertise to grow as quickly as they could. They don't have the ability to maximize their growth, in other words. Using a partner like TyRex is really a great way. Okay, you're going to outsource a little bit. Eventually you may be able to do this yourselves, but for now, let's get you to scale quickly. TyRex, between all of the integrated services that we have here, can be kind of a one-stop shop, as cliche as that term is. We can be a one-call, problem-solved sort of solution for someone to grow, for a company to grow really quickly, either by outsourcing their manufacturing, in its entirety, or outsourcing their design or their testing, or some combination of all those things. Again, we are in the business to help others in lots of different ways. We're a service provider, and so the service that we're providing a lot of those late-stage startups is, hey, if you want to grow faster, call us.
You ready to talk nonprofit?
Absolutely.
We're nearly there.
Yeah.
Again, it's something we're very passionate about. We have a whole wall over here of some of the nonprofits you've been a part of. Obviously, you're working with TyRex, but you also do a lot of nonprofits. So I have the right man for the conversation. So let's talk about what you guys do. Beyond the future of additive manufacturing is this cool sign here, but these components here, a lot of them go into the nonprofit world. Can we talk about this a little?
That's right. Yeah, one of the things that TyRex does a lot of is try to bring science and technology to community, to the nonprofit world. We've got an immense ability to print. We might not be able to write a six-figure check all the time, but we can print all day, every day. So is there a nonprofit in town that can use, pins that say I gave blood at the blood bank, or centerpieces that are piggy banks that the Children's Museum can use? We 3D printed all of the awards for the regional science fair recently. That type of thing is really near and dear to our hearts. It's part of our culture. Giving back is something that is big for employee engagement. It's one of the things that our people love about working here. It's also something that, again, built to last company. It's one of the things that we feel like is our responsibility. So we're certainly not in it for the publicity, despite all the followers watching right now. But we are in it to last for a long time, and growing those roots and making sure people know we're here for the right reasons is really important to us.
Well, for all the people out there watching right now who have made it from the beginning of this video to the end, I'm sure want to find out how they can learn more about you, whether it's additive, cable, partnerships, nonprofit, internships, all of these reasons to work with you. Is it as simple as TyRex.com?
It's TyRexMFG for manufacturing.com, but yes, that's our hub. That's where anybody can find out anything they need to about anything we've talked about today.
Absolutely perfect. TyRex MFG. Check it out. I highly recommend it. And I'm going to step outside and do a closing for this whole thing. But before we do that, did you know I swam with whale sharks once, Joel?
I had no idea.
Well,
wow.
This mouth right here of this megalodon, as we continue to talk about dinosaurs, this is about the same size as the whale shark I was swimming with.
Yep.
Could you imagine having something this size in the ocean while you're swimming?
If God is real, we will not have to.
So
don't imagine it.
This is TyRex. That's just us getting creative, showcasing a lot more of the fun that's here as TyRex. This is my buddy Joel, Andrew at the beginning, TyRex MFG. Check them out. Incredible company. I will see you all again very soon. Well, my friends, that's TyRex. That's my friend Andrew, that's my buddy Joel, and that's a whole lot of what's going on inside of this facility. One thing that I took from this outside of community service, which is incredibly important, is for those folks out there looking to scale up. Reach out to these guys. You can change the way your company is growing in a short amount of time instead of taking years and years. On top of that, if you're looking for a partner who cares, additive manufacturing, and all of the wires and cables that are out there, this is your go-to company here in Austin, Texas, taking care of everyone around them.